What it do, bruh? Talk of the town, Nintendo, Doc Trey still holding it down, still make the best games, and you know this, bro. It's the truth. If you don't like it, you can have that seatbelt. So people always talk about the accomplishments of the Nintendo Switch, but there's one major accomplishment in particular that no one talks about, and they really should, because it's huge, and that is the Nintendo Switch eliminating the need for test games. Now, if you've been a Nintendo fan a long time, if you had the Wii as your primary system, the Wii U as your primary game system, you know exactly what a test game is. And they sucked. Now, that's not to say that the Nintendo Switch hasn't had any test games at all. It definitely had a couple at launch, like Ultra Street Fighter 2. That was definitely a test game. No one really asked for that game, especially at that price. Definitely a test game. But as a whole, Nintendo Switch's success has eliminated the need for these so-called test games from third parties, and that's incredible, because having to or feeling like you had to buy a game, a lot of times even unrelated to the series that you want, in order to show the company that you're interested in those types of games, was ridiculous. You shouldn't have had to buy a completely different game just to show that you had interest in those types of games, in hopes that the third party would give you the game you actually want. But that's the kind of stuff we used to have to go through as Nintendo fans. And luckily, due to the success of the Nintendo Switch, you don't have to do that anymore. You don't have to feel bad for not buying or supporting a game that you don't want. If you don't want the game, you don't buy it. Because these third parties are pretty much bringing whatever they can comfortably bring to the Switch, and sometimes not comfortably. And that's a good thing. They're not, most of these third party studios and publishers are done making the excuses. The sales are there, so they're supporting us with the games that we want. But back in the day, not so much. Imagine having to buy, or feeling like you needed to buy or support a game just to get a completely different game. It's very ridiculous when you think about it, but that is actually something that we almost had to do back then, or we wouldn't have any third-party support, which is freaking sad. And I'm glad that's over. And that's a huge deal. Being able to just say, nah, I don't want that, is outstanding. We were really at the whim of these third parties when it comes to support, and it's sad that it was even like that. And just think about it. Look at your Wii collection, some of your Wii U games, your third party games. And you look at those, and some of those you're probably like, wow, why did I buy this? I bought this? Wow. I paid full price for it? Really? I paid full price for this? It's crazy. Because I can guarantee you a lot of those games you bought because you thought the developer did a good job. I want to support this developer. I don't even think this game's that, I'm not that interested in this game, but I want to support the developer. Oh, it's a Wii game that's 480p, widescreen, and 60 frames? I'm going to buy it. Knowing damn well if that was on any other system, you wouldn't even look twice at it. But thankfully, thanks to the Nintendo Switch, that is no longer the case. Thank God.